What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. This is Anthony with Jhuly Aquatics and Gardening, and I'm giving you a 1-month update on my succulent planter. Now, since planting this, I think we've had about 2 nights that went below freezing, and I had to come out here and throw a blanket over this for those 2 nights. And overall, this succulent container has been doing really well. Now, a couple of things. I mentioned in I think it was an Instagram tour that I did, or some kind of video. There's some video somewhere where I mentioned that right here I had another arm of this trigona that broke off during a bad windstorm, and I had to stick some replacements in there. One big noticeable change before I bring you in closer and step behind the camera is that the vinca that I had on the either side of this arrangement, I pulled it out. Now, I had to pull out that vinca because it was growing up really tall and it wasn't cascading like I thought it was going to, and it was just starting to run amok through the design, and I wasn't liking it. So on this side, I actually dug the whole root ball out, but because of the way this side of the arrangement is planted, I just cut it off really low, and I poked holes into the root ball and stuck cuttings in there. So I have added some plants. Nothing has died. The thing with succulent arrangements that you have to understand is that, especially when you're using cuttings, they're going to shrink. So that's why it's important to jam them in really tight and really close together, because when they shrink, soil will show and the arrangement will start to look a little unintentional. So I had to add a couple plants in there to fill out because of that shrinkage, but when they bounce back, I think we're going to be in good shape. So again, nothing has died because of some heavy rains that we got and some windstorms that we got. Some leaves got knocked around, some things got blown out. There is a little bit of burning from a really hot spike that we had. But overall, everything is doing well. So let me bring you in closer, show you the growth, show you the process, and then I'll also show you the base of the planter and how those plants down there are doing as well. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so hopefully I don't get copyrighted because of my neighbors playing one of my favorite gospel songs in the background, but hopefully you can hear me and not the music, because I don't want to get copyrighted. So you can see here that the periwinkle is gone. Let me just point out, I added this Portulacaria afro-variegata to the edge here, and hopefully by the end of the season it'll get big and start to spill out the front. I also added a Burrow's Tail Donkey Sedum. I added 2 jelly bean plants. I forget the exact botanical name. I added some Crassula Gollum fingers. I added a couple Pearl von Nürnbergs. I forget what this Echeveria is called. And I also added some more California Sunset. I don't know how well you can see it here, but you can see some of the tip burning. Right here. You can see some of the tip burning there because the sun comes in. Right now it's about 5 o'clock, and you can see in the back how the sun is coming in. So in the morning it gets very good, strong morning sun till probably about 1 o'clock, and then it gets about 2 or 3 hours of shade during the hottest part of the day. And then it gets this little beam of sunlight back here in the evening time. But overall, this side of the arrangement is looking well. These guys here, they are starting to elongate. Now they're not etiolating, and etiolation would be if there's a lot of space between the leaves and the stems. So they're not etiolating, but they're growing, and they're pointing towards the sun. So these should have been planted up higher in the arrangement. So eventually I think I'm gonna have to come in and cut these and reset them as cuttings back in that spot. This Echeveria, you will remember that I planted from a cutting, and look at how it's grown. So obviously it's gotten its legs and it's starting to put out a lot of growth. This is an Echeveria Giboflora hybrid, I think. This was sold to me as an Echeveria Giboflora hybrid. I know it's an Echeveria Giboflora, but I don't know if it's a hybrid. But by the end of the season, if it continues on this growth pattern, it'll fill up this entire area. Now I'll show you the plant that matches this on the back side. This gets more sun than the other one, and the other one is growing better than this one is, but I don't remember the name. The sedums down here are doing well. Can't complain about that, especially with that spectacular color. Alright, so up here is where that arm of the what am I talking about? Euphorbia trigona royal red had broken off, so I stuck a kalanchoe in here. I stole Linville's plant, don't tell him though. I stuck it back in there to fill a gap. Everything back here is doing well. Again, nothing is stretching, nothing is ideolating. For some strange reason, I've lost a lot of my fiberglass top dressing. I think that has something to do with my children. I've caught them in here a few times, so I'm going to have to add some more top dressing rock. So to the front of the arrangement, the Aloe Breviflora, Brevifolia, I don't remember how to pronounce it. You can see it's getting some tip stressing on there, which is nice. This aloe is getting stressed, and it's matching the color of the sedums here, and they're multiplying, I think. I'm going to have to go back and watch the footage. One thing I like about this arrangement is that it keeps me busy. Every day I have to come out and pick off pine needles, so it gives me something to do. The crassula up here is kind of not as colorful as it was when I first planted it. It is stretching a bit. It is getting a little bit of burning on it from the sun, but I planted these as plants, not as cuttings, so that's that. This Echeveria is growing, and it's taking on a mauve color, which is nice. I kind of wish that I had, let me swing you around here, zoom you in. I wish that I had notated the name of this Echeveria here. It's not Lola. And I don't remember the name of the Echeveria, and I threw away the container, but I love this color. And it's starting to get that beautiful pink margin, and it's blooming. So again, just a repeat on this side. Everything is doing well. Everything is growing. Everything is filling in. Let's show you the back side. Alright, so you can see that it's much lighter back here because the sun is hitting it now. This aloe is stressing, but the new growth is looking good. I like how this looks. Hopefully you can see you can see it. The crown of thorns. It was stressing for a while. It dropped some of its leaves, but you can see a lot of new growth coming, and it's actually getting ready to start blooming, so that's nice. This is what I was talking about, the matching plant at the back here. This one is growing much better. It's actually growing faster, and it doesn't look as stressed as the other one to me. This pack of Echeveria's mixture that I bought is growing. The Galaxy Blue, which was ideolating, has thrown off pups, and it's growing, and it's looking nice. On this side here, you can see my stand of Aloe Blue Elf doing well, and I've also got some more sunset sedums back there. So everything is doing well. Everything is growing nicely. As you can see, I didn't lose one single plant, and I am just stoked about the progress, rather. So let me show you what I've got going on the ground. So in that video, I don't believe I showed you this tapestry, but I always was told as a design principle, when you're planting a pedestal planter or an elevated planter with succulents, you always want to put something at the base. So I did put this mixture of succulents down here, and I love the way it's growing together. This is a quadricolor, I think this is an aloe quadricolor. This is a stand of aeoniums that's growing. I always get poked by that. This was the crassula that I had originally stuck at the top, and you can see it would have been too dark to last right there. I've got a mixture of sedums, echeverias. I've got a potato growing down here. I've got a Lola that I took a cutting out of and put up here, which is doing well. I did add this, I forget what it's called, but it needs more shade, so obviously you can see that it's burning. And I have a crested Aeonium back there, Sansevieria, some Cotyledon, some Kalanchoe, and I did stick in some regular Portulacaria. So overall, it's doing well, and I'm loving the growth. I'm loving how it's going. And what my hope is as I continue to come across more succulents, to kind of extend the tapestry out and possibly down towards the edge of the border. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, guys, in today's update. I hope to give you another update in about a month or so. And hopefully by then we'll see even more growth out of this succulent planter. Thanks again for hanging out with me, guys. Thanks for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. And I am going to keep you guys updated with the succulent arrangement. Thanks again for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next video. Remember, in all things, give thanks, take care, and God bless.